Have you ever wondered who once ruled the underworld of New York City? Our story begins with the Gambino Crime Family, one of the infamous 5 families that dominated the criminal landscape of the Big Apple. The roots of this notorious family can be traced back to a faction of mafiosi from Palermo, Sicily, led by Ignazio Lupo. As the 20th century dawned, Lupo's influence began to wane, and Salvatore Toto d'Aquila seized the opportunity to take over the reins of the family. D'Aquila was a shrewd and ambitious leader, quickly establishing his dominance over the New York underworld. With a keen eye for opportunity and a ruthless streak, D'Aquila built a network of influence and connections that would become the foundation of the Gambino family's power. Under D'Aquila's leadership, the Gambino family expanded their operations into various criminal activities. From labor and construction racketeering to gambling, loan sharking, and extortion, the Gambinos had their hands in every illicit pie. Their operations didn't stop there. Money laundering, prostitution, fraud, hijacking, and fencing were also part of their extensive repertoire. The family was becoming a force to be reckoned with, a shadowy empire built on a foundation of fear and greed. But it wasn't just about the money. The Gambino family was about power. They were about control. They were about making their own rules and bending society to their will. They were a symbol of the darker side of the American dream, a testament to what could be achieved when laws and morals were cast aside. The Gambino family was more than just a criminal organization. It was a dynasty, a legacy passed down from one generation to the next. From its humble beginnings in the streets of Sicily to its ascension to the pinnacle of organized crime in New York City, the Gambino family was a testament to the dark allure of power and wealth. But as every reign has a rival, D'Aquila's power was soon to be challenged. The spark of conflict ignited the Castellamarese War. It was the year 1930, and the streets of New York were ripe with tension. A power struggle was underway between 2 notorious mafia bosses, Salvatore Toto d'Aquila and Giuseppe Joe the Boss Masseria. This bitter feud led to a bloody war that would change the landscape of organized crime forever. The Castellamarese War, as it came to be known, was marked by a series of violent confrontations, betrayals, and assassinations. It was a brutal battle for dominance, and when the dust finally settled, the New York underworld was in for a major shake-up. The old guard was out, and a new era of organized crime was ushered in. The aftermath of the war saw the reorganization of the New York gangs into 5 prominent crime families, one of which was the Mangano Crime Family, the precursor to the Gambinos. Vincent Mangano, a man of ruthless ambition, emerged as the family's leader. Under his command, the Manganos focused on extortion, union racketeering, and illegal gambling. He also cunningly established the City Democratic Club as a front for his criminal activities, a clever move that further entrenched his family's power and influence. The Mangano era was marked by a strategic focus on building a network of influence and connections. Mangano's leadership style was both feared and respected. He was a shrewd leader who recognized the importance of maintaining a low profile while expanding the family's criminal empire. During this period, the Manganos, the future Gambinos, were steadily accumulating wealth and power. They were laying the groundwork for what would become one of the most notorious crime syndicates in American history. But the real power play, the one that would propel the Gambinos to the pinnacle of the criminal underworld, was yet to come. However, the real rise of the Gambinos was yet to come. A new era dawned with the assassination of Albert Anastasia. This was the moment when the Gambino family's fate took a dramatic turn as Carlo Gambino ascended to the throne. With the cunning of a fox and the heart of a lion, Carlo Gambino was a man of contrasts. Known for his quiet demeanor, he was no less formidable than his predecessors. His reign was marked by strategic partnerships, the most notable of which was with Meyer Lansky, a key figure in the Jewish mob. This alliance allowed the Gambino family to expand their operations into the lucrative world of gambling, particularly in Cuba, the Pearl of the Caribbean. This partnership was more than just a business arrangement. It was a symbiotic relationship that allowed both parties to flourish in an era defined by power and money. Under Carlo Gambino's leadership, the family's wealth and power reached unprecedented heights. He was a visionary, seeing opportunities where others saw only risks. He turned the family's traditional operations, such as loan sharking and extortion, into a vast empire that extended beyond New York and across the Atlantic. Gambino's reign was not just about expanding the family's operations, but also consolidating its power. He was a master at maintaining a low profile, evading the attention of law enforcement while expanding the family's influence. This strategy allowed the Gambino family to grow in power and wealth, becoming the most powerful crime family in America. However, Gambino was not just a mob boss. He was a leader who commanded respect. He was known for his loyalty to his family and his code of honor, values that earned him the loyalty of his underlings and the respect of his rivals. Under his reign, the Gambino family became synonymous with power and wealth. From humble beginnings, they had risen to the top of the underworld, a testament to their cunning, ruthlessness, and ambition. With Carlo Gambino at the helm, the family was seemingly invincible. But as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. This was as true for the Gambino family as it was for anyone else. The height of their power was matched only by the depth of their fall, a story that is as captivating as it is tragic. In the world of crime, loyalty is a fickle friend. In the grand tale of the Gambino family, this truth was to be sharply realized. The family's empire, once seemingly invincible, began to crumble with the downfall of John Gotti. John Gotti, a charismatic and flamboyant figure, was known as the Teflon Don for his ability to evade legal trouble. However, his reign was to meet an abrupt end, not due to the efforts of law enforcement alone, but due to the betrayal by one of his own, Salvatore "Sammy the Bull" Gravano. Gravano, Gotti's underboss, was a crucial cog in the Gambino machine. His loyalty was unquestionable, or so it seemed. When faced with a life sentence, Gravano did the unthinkable. He turned state's witness, offering testimony that would prove decisive in convicting Gotti of murder and racketeering. This act of betrayal sent shockwaves through the underworld. The code of silence, omerta, which had been the bedrock of mafia loyalty, had been broken. The Gambinos, once a symbol of unassailable power, were now vulnerable. The impact of Gotti's fall was immediate and profound. The family's operations were disrupted, their influence waned, and their aura of invincibility shattered. Law enforcement agencies, emboldened by this victory, intensified their efforts against organized crime. The Gambinos were hit hard, and many of their operations were dismantled. Yet perhaps the most significant impact was psychological. The betrayal of Gravano challenged the very principles upon which the mafia was built. If a man as influential as Sammy the Bull could break the code, who else might follow? The Gambinos found themselves in a precarious position. Their leadership was in disarray, their operations were under siege, and the very ethos that bound them together had been called into question. The once unstoppable Gambinos faced a future of uncertainty. Yet, like a phoenix, the Gambinos rose from the ashes. After the fall of the Gotti era, it was Frank Cali who took the reins, leading the family until his untimely assassination in 2019. Cali's leadership brought a certain level of stability to the family, keeping a low profile and focusing on traditional rackets. Fast forward to today, the Gambino family remains a force to be reckoned with, albeit less flashy and less publicly notorious than its past. The family continues to operate in the shadows, maintaining their influence in illicit activities such as labor and construction racketeering, gambling, loan sharking, and extortion, among others. The exact status of the Gambino family in the present day is somewhat nebulous. While law enforcement continues to crack down on organized crime, the family's grasp on its traditional power bases remains significant. The empire Carlo Gambino once built, the legacy John Gotti left behind, has undoubtedly shaped the family's current operations. Despite the ups and downs, the Gambino family has left an indelible mark on American crime history. So, what is the legacy of the Gambino crime family? From their roots in Palermo, Sicily, the Gambinos carved out a notorious empire in the concrete jungle of New York City. Their rise to power, marked by ruthless ambition and calculated moves, saw the family dominate the underworld for decades. Their operations spanned across labor racketeering, gambling, loan sharking, and even more illicit activities, leaving a trail of blood and money in their wake. Under the reign of Carlo Gambino, the family's influence expanded, reaching its zenith with their ironclad control over gambling interests in Cuba. While their power waned following the downfall of John Gotti, their impact on organized crime remains undeniable. The Gambino family's legacy is a tangled web of power, wealth, and infamy. Their story serves as a chilling reminder of a time when the underworld's shadow loomed large over the city, affecting the lives of many. They were more than just criminals. They were architects of an underworld empire that forever shaped the face of New York. The Gambinos, a testament to the dark side of the American dream, have forever etched their name into the annals of true crime.